it's a busy docket, so we're gonna try to keep it as organized as possible. We definitely want all of your voices to be heard, all of your questions to be asked. So just please bear with us as there's a gazillion of you. So we have two applicants tonight. We're gonna have Mr. Russ go first. So if you're here for Mr. Russ and you have questions for him, he's gonna start. We don't have microphones for you all, so maybe if you're asking the question, stand so that everyone can best hear you. The applicant's gonna come to this microphone for you guys, for your sake. And as for you citizens, we don't have a microphone, so do your best to project, maybe stand up so it comes a little further. I think that's it. I'm just here to take minutes, so I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Russ, and then when he's done, we'll turn it over to the next applicant.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jamie Russ. I came from Connecticut about a year and a half ago. I volunteer for Benson Clean and Beautiful. I volunteer for the museum. I was instrumental in getting the museum as well as it is right now. I noticed that the bowling alley on 4th is not open. I tried acquiring it, not gonna happen. So I decided to build my own. The closest piece of land I could find to the center of Benson was Acatio. And I don't know, I'm going forward with that idea. I proposed a 20,000 square foot building, 12 lanes. Want to have a room with 4 billiard tables, have arcades, kitchen, and serve beer, only beer. But that's about everything I'm thinking right now. Any questions?
Where? It's gonna be over there across the street from the hospital, basically. She wants to know where it's gonna be.
Across from the hospital.
Okay.
First of all, I have a question. Why do you think it's okay to build a bowling alley right in the middle of where the houses are?
Well, I was
Especially if you're gonna serve beer.
because there's a medical building, RV park, Safeway, post office, tractor supply, a hospital, and a dentist. I didn't think it was that residential.
Of course, when we bought the home.
But do you live here? Have you drove
I do live here. I told
here?
you I came here last March 25th.
Okay, so again, if you drove through that area, that piece of land, all those homes right there are residential. I live in one.
And all the businesses I just mentioned, and that's probably not all of them.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. First of all, they're not butting up to people's backyards. We don't have to worry about somebody accidentally hitting the gas instead of the brake. Arizona is a right to carry state. Something pops off and the bullets are going through our houses.
Interesting thought, okay.
Those are kids there. I wake up in the morning at 4 in the morning to go to work for the city of Sierra Vista. We have people that work all day long, all night long, and we need our sleep.
And there's no reason you can't have it.
If there's gonna be a bowling alley there, are you gonna have private security that's gonna secure the area? Are you worried about homelessness that's gonna come through you there? Are you gonna worry about what happens if that bowling alley is no longer there and something else goes in there?
That's, I don't know what to say to that.
Obviously, you haven't thought about that.
Okay. Keep it calm. So I have a question. So there's like, what, 5 or more empty businesses in the Safeway strip mall? Why can't you use that property?
Or the other mall that's broke the front.
Bowling alley?
Those buildings are not big enough. I've already gone and looked at them. And due to the sinking ground with a lot of sand out here, I'd like to build a new building and have it done the way I need it, on islands or something.
With a floating.
Everything's floating towards Safeway. So even if you buy that property, you're still looking at your construction being ruined because everything's shifting that way anyway.
Or you could use a
That's the
floating
chance I have
pad.
to take.
Are you gonna use a floating pad in the construction?
I did not consider any of that right now. I have an engineer doing the prints as we speak.
Yeah, because my understanding is that's one of the things that they've started using in this area for big buildings so that it doesn't, so it mitigates the slipping that's been going
Well,
on.
I'll gladly take that into consideration if need be.
I think the biggest problem, I'm sorry, I think the biggest problem is you're just trying to build in a residential area where, granted, there are other small businesses there. The hospital in Chiricahua don't get as much traffic, or the dentist office, as what a bowling alley would.
What are the hours that it's proposed to be open?
None of that has come to a conclusion yet. We're working on everything.
So I've gone into the area as a residential too, okay? And so that's what I expected to live in. Now I'm gonna be within 300 feet of a bowling alley.
Well, it's not gonna cause any problems for you.
Noise,
No, hold on, let me answer that. Noise, it'll be about 50 decibels, which is the, conversations about that. That's really nothing.
and traffic and lighting. Then you've got all the kids in the neighborhood.
And hopefully they come and bowl.
You can bring them.
What did he say?
There's gonna be older kids in their community that, he's concerned that there could be traffic issues with the kids.
I would like to address that. If you look around the high school, there's not a lot of that. Not a lot of kids have cars. And I live on the poor side of town, which is, and right by the railroad. And ever since I've been here, which is now 25 years, the first few years they were trying really hard to bring some activities in for the children and the adults, so also the parents and their kids, and develop leagues and stuff for the now defunct bowling alley. But part of the problem with the problems that the kids here have, there's nothing to do, and it's true in every rural community. And I personally would be for this. So.
Back here, we have a comment.
You stated that you didn't know that this was a residential community. However, you have to seek a change in zoning to be able to build it in the first place.
Right.
And
the-
driving
the
through
front
town
acre
today,
is commercial, and the second acre is residential.
so you have to get it changed to commercial in order to build.
Yes.
Driving through town today, there are over 8 locations, empty lots that are up for sale in this city, in the zone in which is part of the general development plan of the city of Benson that would be perfect for a bowling alley. 8 locations, and you're choosing to build one in the middle of a residential community?
I did
Why
not
aren't we
see it
actually
as a
following the
residential community. I
Benson
just listed all the
development
businesses
plan
there.
for that? There's 8 locations. You wanna build it right in the heart of the city?
But nothing in this town is big enough for what I want to do. I would like minimum of 20,000 square feet.
How many
There's
acres
no
is that?
location north of I-10 on Ocotillo for you to build it.
Half of the parcel. That's it.
My problem with this whole thing is not until I walked into this building and you started to speak did I know what the purpose was for your request for rezoning and to change the general plan. Has there been outreach done to the local area to get a letter sent or anything? I couldn't even find on the city's webpage the notice for this meeting.
That
If
is
you
not my
live in
doing.
the area, you will have received one of these letters from the city.
But it's not available on the website.
It doesn't have to be because it's posted in all the other areas. Nobody is going to come to your door, knock on your door, and tell you, we're going to be discussing this tonight. For every single one of you that are in this room screaming that the city is not doing their job,
They aren't.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm holding proof in my hand
I-
that they
Ma'am,
are doing their
ma'am,
job.
can I speak? I was at town hall Monday. Those notices go from 7 feet up to floor level.
But they're posted three.
But
And
they're
none
posted.
of those speak about this meeting tonight.
Oh,
They all
would you
talk.
like to take a drive?
Do you know
Because I
why?
have the
She
video.
doesn't
No,
know
ma'am.
because all
No,
it says
I
is
wouldn't.
parcels.
Right.
That's why she doesn't know.
That's
You
all
only
legal
list
notice
parcels.
requires.
That's
You
a
make
parcel
them do,
notice.
because they're not gonna go beyond absolutely the minimum of what's required.
Exactly. And what they post in the
I'm sorry,
paper doesn't
that's the
match what they
point
post
of
online.
the rule of law is what the rules are.
But there's
You
also
want
what's
more
right.
in the rules.
There's also what's
Then
right.
I suggest you
There's law and
petition
there's
the
what's
council to change those rules.
Well, and I would suggest
As they
you
sit.
make all of your notices.
Oh, I love it, I love
match.
it. Everybody y'all are sitting here giggling.
I
How
think
do
we're
you think
missing the
these
point
rules
here.
came
This-
about in the
Jim's
first
up here trying
place?
to talk.
I think you're
Is that his
interrupting the
case?
speaker. We want to hear about the bowling alley, not you.
I want to advocate for the
You're
city.
gonna hear a lot more from me before
If
this
you
is
want to
over
advocate for the
with.
city, hold your own meeting.
So we did get letters, we do live very close to where this is proposed. I am against it. There's a lot of reasons why, but our property is listed as R2, not R3. Not, even the land that we're talking about, most of it's R2.
Right.
Certainly not from R2 to commercial. That's a huge leap.
I think the notice said R3, if I'm not
Density and
mistaken.
traffic. Both of those will be going through the roof. That's number one. Number two, for conditional uses. I'm reading something that is in the, I think it's in the Benson thing. Benson thing, with my glasses. Excuse me, guys. Noise levels and lights from the facility will not interfere with adjacent land uses or in any way create a nuisance. You mentioned 50 decibels.
Mhm.
I pulled up a search on bowling alleys. I don't know what your construction is, but most bowling alleys are between 75 and 80, and at times up to 100 decibels.
I've never been to a bowling alley that is allowing
Read it,
that.
do some more research on.
Is that
what
inside
it
or
is.
outside the
Well,
building?
that was the approval.
That's,
Within a, what radius or just?
It's outside the building, they're neighbors.
If you're a neighbor, you're gonna feel it, it's gonna rumble.
A lot of those
It's
homes are
going-
two-story homes, they're gonna listen to that other house.
But then the third thing, and it's not even on my thing here, but, it's trash. You have, and I believe you guys are looking possibly at coming in through 9. Maybe up here. And maybe down below, because the same person that has, which is, I guess you, has the property that is going to have the bowling alley, also is listed as the owner of those 2 lots, that, those 2 houses that aren't showing on the picture.
You don't own the property
I do
yet.
not own property.
No. He's just trying to find out if community will allow him to get it rezoned so he
Okay.
can move forward
I
with
know that
business.
I'm totally opposed to it. I think that pretty much covers the things that bother me the most. I don't want alcohol being served in there either. I understand there's so many people that would like something for the children. And adults alone all together, and having everybody together instead of the kids in one spot and adults in another. So in a way, it's neat, but not there. It's just not the right spot. Those businesses that you mentioned, and you're right, there are businesses there, but it is a hospital across the street, and it is medical
And when we have the
across the
sirens going off at 3 in the morning because of an emergency, it's.
Helicopter.
street. It's
Exactly.
not often, it's not often.
I live right there. Yes, we occasionally have a helicopter, and we'll occasionally have sirens, but it is few. It's not 10 to 14 hours a day. No matter what, you're gonna be open from 10 to 10, that's 12 hours. It's just not the right spot for us. We're a small and quiet community. And I love it. I'm done, sorry.
This is quick.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
So we live about 2 blocks from the park. You wanna talk about traffic and lights.
Exactly.
And everything else. Look at all that residential around there, and it's not a problem. So I think the bowling alley is a great idea.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, the
But you
park.
don't live there, and you don't have
But
to
you're
worry
not,
about
you're
your
not making a
kid.
decision.
I live 2 blocks from the park.
Okay, but they're gonna have
But they're
alcohol. You don't
There's
have.
alcohol at
It
the
doesn't
park.
matter. You don't have a brick wall adjacent to the parking lot where somebody could go through it. You live 2 blocks away from the park. It doesn't matter. You do not have this building coming into your backyard.
I see that it's
That's your problem.
listed as 7 1/4 acres.
Yes.
And you mentioned the bowling alley will be 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, I want 2 acres.
2 acres, so that will be the bowling alley and parking?
Yes.
Okay, and then what about the other 5 acres?
I don't own them, it's not up to me, it's to be done with them.
Are you only buying 2 acres?
Yes.
Oh, you're not buying all 7, because the notice online, I believe, said the parcel numbers, and when I looked it up, it said it was 7 1/4 acre, 7.36 acres.
That's the whole parcel, I only want the front 2.
So it might not back up to a neighborhood.
No, just the 1 acre. The front acre's already commercial, I just have to get 1 acre changed.
There would be a buffer of additional acres between that and the residential area?
Yes, 5.
5 acres of
5
additional
acres.
buffer between the bowling alley and the residential area?
Yes. Yes.
Will you have a buffer of retaining walls, say like 10 feet tall, just so that there's less?
I have not put any thought into that, I prefer no walls, but if people who live there want walls, I suppose I could think of that and possibly do it.
We want it somewhere else. We don't want it.
How many bowling alleys have you actually opened and started?
0.
Okay, so you don't know if it's 50 decibels that a bowling alley creates.
Switches over there.
I did something else, and I went online, and that's what it told me.
So you're,
So I'm going online.
now, do you know why the bowling alley in Benson actually closed? Have you researched into the reason behind that?
I don't wanna get into any of that story, no, I haven't.
Okay, and are you aware that bowling since the 1970s has been dropping precipitously? And if you ask anybody in the high school, if you ask anybody in high school if they wanna go bowling, how many of those folks do you think is gonna say yes?
Every one of my grandchildren.
Yeah.
There's a few folks.
Everybody I've talked to is for a bowling alley, I've talked to a lot of people.
Then why haven't? Thank you.
Yes.
Have you gone and talked to the residents personally that you're going to be building it?
No, I have not yet.
Why?
Well, this is what tonight is about.
No, I meant go to the site and knock on the door and say, hey, I'm gonna build this.
Well, you can
What
do
is
that
your
tonight.
option?
You can do that tonight, I don't need to walk around to your door individually.
Except nobody knows about the meeting.
That's not my problem.
Well, you work for ADI, don't you? Yeah, that's an ADI answer. That's not my problem.
Given the proximity to the houses and the property that you're looking at, why not look at the property that is on the west side of Ocotillo and south of the hospital? It has the same square footage there than what you're proposing now.
That's farther from where I'm at.
No, it's kind of right across the street, catty corner, is what she's saying.
Yeah, it's kind of catty corner. It'd be on the other side of Ocotillo, and it's gonna be on the south side of the hospital, where across the street, and a little ways up the road is the community center, but it does pull you away from the residential houses. that are in the area.
But is that behind the post office?
No.
No.
No, that's over by us.
What is it for sale?
I've never looked into it, I have no idea.
Well, I think that whole area though, there's a wash that runs through there, so that might not work.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a crazy area.
One thing.
One more thing I would like to comment on is that you are requesting the zoning change to commercial from R2 with an intent to build a bowling alley. I'm not saying you're not sincere, but it's that intent. And that doesn't mean you're gonna end up settling on that if you get commercial property, that switch to commercial property. Because it can be any number of
Well,
businesses.
I'm not gonna go through all this effort to make the idea go.
But you're not, it's with the intent of a bowling alley, it's not really meaning that that's the only thing you could become. You could change your mind halfway through, say, I'm not gonna do the bowling alley, and we'll put something else up. That
I can
would
tell
be
you I'm
at
not
that
going to
point
change
in
my
time.
mind, that's all I can tell you right now is that's not gonna happen.
I know that's what your intent is, but I'm saying that you may make a change if you.
But he wouldn't be
Key
allowed
word
to.
being may, I'm not going
No,
to.
once the zoning's changed.
Once the zoning's changed, it's changed. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a bowling alley, it's just the intent.
But what I want is a bowling
I
alley.
know
What
that's
I'm
what
going to
you-
do is a bowling alley.
I know
End of
that's
story.
what, I know it's what you want, but I'm just bringing that part up too.
How many realtors have you checked in with to see what's available in the area?
How is that relevant?
Because realtors know the area.
And what does that matter? I
Because they can
want this
tell
piece
you
of land.
where
I
you
don't
might find an
understand.
additional place that may not affect so many people, but would still generate the
This
business you
was the
want.
closest to the center of town that I could find through the realtors I used. That's all I need to say.
Did you use a local realtor or did you use someone?
Does that matter? No, it doesn't.
does.
No, it
It does.
doesn't.
It does, cause then
Who
you wanna
cares who I
know.
use
I
for a
bought
realtor?
my house in June and I used a local realtor and she got me the house I wanted.
Sir,
Yes.
have you ever built and ran a business similar to this before?
No.
You haven't?
No.
And are you gonna want all of our business to come to this new bowling alley?
Of course.
Okay, then maybe you should refine how you're speaking to the public a little bit right now, because it's not coming off great at all. And I think before you have your public hearing, you should maybe come with a little more detail, even the basics of the hours of operation for your business and such like that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, but this isn't going well and a lot of people's questions aren't being answered. And no one in this room is gonna wanna come bowl at your business with how you're speaking to people. And I support having,
Plenty of people who have left that bowling alley in this town.
I support having a bowling alley. I think it's great for the youth, but I'm not impressed with how you're treating the public right now as a business owner.
Well, I'm sorry for that, but that's me.
He was being attacked.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't say it's being
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the local dentist that's right there next door to where you're proposing to build this. And the strip of land along Ocotillo is zoned commercial. And you would be just south of my office. My biggest concern there in looking at doing any kind of a large building there is the settling of the ground. I'm on a 1,500 square foot pad for my office. We dug down 12 feet and then compacted everything, and then we did a post-tension concrete slab under my office. I've been there for 30 years now, and we've had zero issues with cracking. But all of the businesses that you mentioned earlier, the hospital, Chiricahua is pretty new. The hospital, Safeway, where Tractor Supply is now, the post office, where the old Cebus building was on the corner of Ocotillo and Union, all of those buildings had floors that cracked. And that's like the worst thing in the world underneath a bowling alley, that you're trying to have smooth, straight lanes. I foresee issues with settling and.
Well, all that will be
Real-
addressed when the architect goes through and makes all the plans.
I'm just giving you a warning now of what
I understand,
all
I
these
appreciate
businesses
that.
have had to do.
I've looked into all that,
They've
and I
had
have
to
somebody
do
working on
concrete
it now.
pumping underneath the buildings to resettle them. Just down the road where the RV park is, they had cracks in their building and they had cracks in the swimming pool. They had to replace the swimming pool this last summer. So I don't think it's a good investment.
Well,
That's just
Okay.
as a
Thank
business
you.
person.
All right, thank you.
Do you think that with the technology we have now as opposed to when those buildings were built, that would have made a difference?
To do,
Yeah.
I'm at a 1,500 square foot building, to do a 20,000 square foot building? No.
So, hold on, I'm sorry, she's trying to speak.
So, I live in this area, right across from the lot. I'm not an owner, I can't speak on behalf of everyone else, but there is another spot, Oakley, it's right off of 4th Street, that is still central. It's down the street from the high school, like walking distance. Is that lot not big enough for what you're envisioning? Because you said, did you say it was 2 acres you're looking to purchase from this lot?
Yes.
Have any of your realtors or real estate agents offered that spot that's right off of busy street?
No, like Cindy just said, it's not big enough.
Is it not big enough for what you're planning there? 2 acres? Not even like with parking going all around this. I think there even is another lot. It's probably not listed, but it probably is owned by somebody the same. And that's right off of the busiest street we got. The traffic going up and down our street, sometimes we gotta wait for people to pass over. If we don't have enough room for this parking lot that's going around, we're creating a lot of congestion. A lot. And
I hear what you're saying. I could take a study and see what the traffic will be like maybe.
it would be a great start. We have families that just moved in and they're like 5+ people sometimes.
One thing that would mitigate the congestion, although not much because we only have a few buses, but that is on one of the main bus routes. So, I mean, we don't have enough buses, but it's still viable as a possible.
Do you know why did you say 7 acres are being rezoned?
7 acres are not being rezoned, 1 acre is.
Just 1 acre
Yes.
is being rezoned?
You said 2, because the parking lot as well, right?
1 acre is already commercial, the second
Oh.
acre needs to be rezoned, that's it.
According to the map that was sent out, it shows the entire.
It does.
Yeah.
That, I had nothing to do with that, I can't answer anything
It
about
was
that.
what
It is
their
showing.
office sent out to the homeowners.
My office,
Well,
7
whoever
parcels
sent
or
that.
something?
7 acres.
Yeah.
Similar to that. Okay, what the city did shows it the entire acreage behind
Yeah.
Dr. Claire's office.
okay, well, I'm telling you now, it's not.
So this is 1 acre up there?
1 acre is already commercial, right on Ogatillo, and the second acre behind it that I want is residential, it needs to be changed to commercial.
Okay, I'm looking at the notice that I got. It says that it's all going to be rechanged and that this is all listed as one parcel. I just wanna know.
Right.
Is it just the one spot up here? Or is it the whole thing? Cause this says it's the whole thing. Excuse me, which
2
leads?
acres, that's it, 1, 2 acres.
City got it wrong.
Right, I just want
Yes.
clarification. I wasn't done.
Hold on, guys.
I wanna ask a question, it might be maybe.
Wait a minute, Abby's in charge of this. She can answer the question.
Yeah.
question.
So the notice that was posted, that is just showing you the image of where it is. It's currently one parcel. If this gets approved, the owner currently will divide the parcel to give him his 1 acre. But we couldn't
It's
put all
outlined.
of that in there because of how small it goes in the newspaper. So it just shows you the whole parcel, and when/if this goes through, he will just subdivide, basically parcel split is what it's called, and give Jamie his 1 acre of commercial, the rest will stay.
So the city isn't
I have
rezoning
another
the
question
entire
for you.
7?
Correct. It will just be the 1 acre rezone that he is requesting.
And the remaining 6 acres will stay commercial, residential.
Correct.
But why is it on the paper that
Right.
it's being?
It's just a visual of where it is.
Yeah, it's just for your visual, so you could tell where it was, and it's currently one parcel. So I think it would have caused more confusion had you divided it in your notice and said, it's currently one parcel, but we're trying to divide it, so we just marked it as one parcel. If it goes through, Jamie will rezone the first front acre that he needs.
And then the rest would stay residential.
Correct.
Good.
I just wanna ask a question. I've come from a big city, and I've seen a lot. And I've worked in a bowling alley. Is this your own thing, or are you a speaker for?
This is my own
Your
thing.
own thing?
Yes.
Well, if I was to do it, I would want to be where there was a little more, traffic, where they could see me, see my building.
There's nothing for sale in any area like that. This, to me, was the best area. My opinion, it's gonna be my building, it's what I wanna do. This is what I did.
Did you do a survey on, a bowling alley being in Benson?
I didn't send anything out, I talked to people with my mouth.
Look, do you talk to the residents though? Cause I know you didn't talk to me.
No,
So
does no one listening to me?
So you're saying that you talk to certain few selected people with your mouth and not the residents?
Not a certain few. I talked to a lot of people on the street and I asked about bowling alley, just to get a general idea.
Residents though that live there.
Yes, in Benson, on
No,
Forest.
on where you're gonna build it. Not all the residents in Benson, where you want to build. Did you go there personally?
I said no, I did not earlier, but you must not have been listening.
Okay, so how come that hasn't happened?
Wow.
Because again, I'm not against it, I just don't want it in my backyard. And if you're only rezoning 1 acre of the residential, the other 6 are still residential. So people are gonna build all the way up to that. And you're gonna have more problems.
I don't own the land, I couldn't tell you what's gonna be done with those 6 acres.
Who is the owner, please? Who is the owner?
His name is Caleb.
Caleb, do you know a last name or?
No, I don't.
You're buying the property from him, but you don't know his full name?
Just look it up, it's public record.
Then how come he doesn't know it?
Exactly.
Not sure if he's buying the property.
Exactly, trying to find out if
Buying
he's
the
buying
property,
He's not
he
buying
would
it.
know, or.
But it's his
rights
business,
to
it's
it.
not your business, it's
Yeah,
his business.
I'm taking care of myself the way I know how. If you would just let me do that.
It's actually the
everything would be
business
fine.
of everyone here.
I wanna know, have you considered, listen, the infrastructure's already there at Maverick, and a lot of that area is commercial. Have you considered putting it there, because you've got new housing up above that can come to it? You've got truckers that would come use it from around the United States. And there's a whole lot of new homes that have just been built in my area.
I'm not interested in that piece of land, no.
Okay. Because of cost?
I think we should move on. We have
Yeah,
we have
Okay.
two other topics that we should discuss tonight.
Oh.
So I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. Your plan is to buy just 1 acre.
2 acres.
Oh, 2 acres, because one's already zoned commercial.
Right,
And the other one is zoned, is it R2 or R3?
R2.
R2.
And he wants to change it to commercial.
Yes, and you want to change it to commercial, the other one that's zoned. And the owner is Caleb Malbuff, or however you say it, just so you know. I just wanted to let you know, since you're going to be buying from him, right? Okay, perfect.
Will the building be a 1-story, 2-story?
1 story.
Will the entrance be from Ocotillo or the side neighborhood?
Aquatillo.
Will the building be set at the front of Ocotillo like close to Ocotillo or back from it and
It'll be,
parking in
the
the
front
front?
acre is going to be parking, and the second acre will be the building.
So side by side?
No. Parking on Ocotillo, and then the second acre back will
Going
be the
back.
building.
Back here.
I'd like to know how much your project is going to cost. Do you know?
That's
Give a rough,
really none of
rough
your
estimate.
business. That's for me to know. Why do you need to know what I'm paying?
Curious because it is a
Well,
lot to
take
have.
your curiosity away, because I'm not answering that question.
Has a lot to do with property value. As we go to look to buy in the neighborhood, when stuff gets built there, why would we wanna build when it's not matching with the businesses that are already there? That's like a healthcare corridor. The further down you get, Ocotillo is where we're starting to see businesses pop up with new beginnings. The golf course that wants to keep being revitalized with new life. This area is already harvested as a quiet space, as one that is not for medical and housing. It's already zoned that way. There's plenty more for other businesses. And if you're going to be talking about how much it's costing, that is going to impact the area as well. So yes, we wanna know, and our curiosity should be satisfied.
Well, I know that you were not originally from here. I'm not either. I moved here 2 years ago. And this is a very tight-knit community is what I've learned. And people have, like, if you don't have the city on your side, they love y'all, they tear down small businesses if they don't meet the needs of the people that live here. I ask how much your project costs because I do know how much those types of things cost. That's what I work in. And it's at least, I'm going to guess, between $750,000 to $1 million project. I would assume that you would then have to have your prices to accommodate, especially because you only have beer, you won't have liquor, which has a higher margin. You will have to have your prices a bit higher to accommodate covering that cost. And the residents here, we're not a super rich county. We're just not. And I don't want you to fail. I do want it, but I do live across the street. I don't want it where it is. I also took the liberty of doing you a favor, and I did talk to all the residents in the neighborhood. I actually talked to 90% of my neighbors. I went to every single house along with another neighbor of mine, and we have 60 signatures of people that do not want it in that location.
Out of 90, that's 2 things.
That's all. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
No, she hasn't.
Let's see people's businesses you won't be getting.
I have one thing to say. I think it's pretty evident that a lot of people are not supporting it, but there are people that are.
Let me stop you there.
Wait,
There are a
let me
lot of people
finish.
I've talked to that are for it,
Let
where
me
it's going to be.
Right.
Let me finish, okay?
A lot of people, more than six in this room. Many
Everybody,
more.
let me just finish, okay? Everybody has said their piece. We have information now, and I think it's time for you to step away from the mic and let the next person that has to deal with us come up and do their business.
Oh, one more question. One more.
I have a comment, actually. We moved here from somewhere else. We actually don't live in Benson. However, we have 2 school-age children. We are always looking for family-friendly things to do other than the many bars that are around. And we know there's a wonderful history in Benson of actually having a skating rink, and a very large swimming pool, which got downsized to a very small pool. And it sounds like the town has not been done right by, and the people here, we want to support that. We are fully in favor of a bowling alley. I will defer to the locals here on the location, but we are fully invested in supporting a bowling alley that is family friendly, geared towards children, and not alcohol if that's possible. And we would absolutely support it. I am going to add though, I agree with Ms. Bloom here, the attitude is on the little negative side, and I think that that's not gonna bring honey and bees together. It's not, but I am absolutely for a bowling alley, a skating rink, anything else that is non-bar, okay? And I'm not against bars. we need family stuff, please. So I like the direction the city is going, minus the secondary smelting plant and other stuff.
It's not a smelter.
Right. Maybe getting somebody else to be a spokesperson would be a positive for you. And I think the other questions about the price and other questions about hours and all of that are super important for this community here because it is a sweet town and we do want to keep it that way. But thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Next.
Nothing for you, okay?
Look at you. My phone on it.
Alright, we got another applicant, he has 2 items tonight. Don't remember which order he's taking them in, but they're gonna do one, and then they'll start the other. I'm sure you have concerns, comments, and questions on both, but try to keep them on track, for their sake, just keeping them separated. So, I'm gonna turn it over, they got it.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Abby. Good evening, my name is Jack Gilmore. I'm a landscape architect. I design industrial parks, master plan communities, design shopping centers, and I do zoning cases like this. I'm here representing DCW Properties, Dan Arnold. And this property is, it's on this area.
Yeah, can you turn your mic up? Yeah.
Some of you had a chance to look at this area, but that's the location of this property. We're on the south side of 10, west of Ocotillo, north of the railroad. If you recognize the area, there's a rapid towing, brand new building out there, and then north of that is Roberto's and a hotel. We're behind that. So you can see on that area, we've got some drainage going through, but we are primarily relying on Ocotillo for our primary access. We're here tonight to do 2 things with this property. First is a major general plan amendment. It's currently zoned, interestingly enough, I-1, light industrial. And the general plan calls for, it's on that second board, the green area that says B, that's buffer open space, and then the red, where it says C, is commercial. So the crosshatched area is the area we're talking about tonight. So the first order of business is to change the general plan so that we can do industrial 2 zoning. So the process in all municipalities, state of Arizona, the general plan dictates land use. In this case, the general plan is showing buffer open space next to the railroad, which is kind of strange, but that's what it is. To do the zone we want, we need to change the general plan. So we're doing 2 steps in one process right now on this property. So we're requesting the council to support the general plan amendment to change that B and C to industrial. And then, once that's been accepted by council, then we can ask for change of zoning. So we want to be able to talk about that as well. As I said, with that lower image, we've also outlined our property. It's light industrial, I-1. So it's already a conflict with the general plan. It's kind of strange, but we could start industrial zoning today. But we want to come back and get the I-2 zoning so we can get rail access to the property. There are some challenges with the property. You can see from the aerial, there's a big drainage way going through, and there's a big gas line, which you guys are probably familiar with, going through right off our entry. So we have to account for that when this property develops. Large sites, because I design industrial parks, large sites are challenged. In this case, we only got one access point, which is off Ocotillo. So most municipalities, counties I work with, require 2 points of ingress and egress, and that's for fire safety. We can satisfy that with a road design that's got a median in it that satisfies the fire code requirements. But it kind of speaks to the fact this needs to be probably a single user. So the industrial I-2 zoning will permit rail access and will support a larger user. So if there's questions about the general plan process, that's what I'll address first, and then we get into the zoning. But is there a question about the general plan amendment process?
I have a quick question. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dan.
Dan, okay. And you're the one that owns the ventures part of it?
Yes,
Okay, so what exactly is that? What are you trying to put there?
industrial park,
So, for
Break it
what?
down.
for whichever client
So,
deems that necessary for their project.
so you're talking about like, I just want to clarify,
Well,
it's gonna be.
if I could address that, because I think that answers your question. When this property is zoned I-2, then Dan can work through the brokerage community and present this property to the market.
Mm-hmm.
There are users looking for rail access property,
Right,
freeway exposure, next to an interchange.
right.
This is
okay,
ideally suited for this use.
Okay,
So it's a kind of a chicken and egg thing. We need that zoning, and then the market will bring a user, we believe, to this property, and then it's gotta go through the site plan approval process.
but there will be multiple businesses at that industrial.
Don't know,
park, no?
don't know. It could be, we expect there'll be just one user.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
what's it gonna be?
we don't know.
So just one user though?
We think because of the size, the restrictions on access, and the gas line and the drainage, it's really more conducive to a single user. We might end up with two, but more than likely it'll be one. And we won't know who that is until the market says, oh, we've got site selectors looking for this kind of property.
So
There's a
you're-
site like this in Benson, let's go look at it.
So the venture is all about speculation on people moving into the
The
community?
Ventures is just a name.
Right, I understand
It
that.
could be amalgamated, it could be Acme, doesn't matter. It's a
But
name for the ownership.
But it's speculation that it's gonna bring more people into the community, right?
Sure,
More
jobs.
Yeah.
Would this single user be a glass recycling facility?
I'm sorry?
Would this single user be a glass recycling facility?
A recycling facility?
Glass.
Oh, glass. I doubt it. I can't guarantee that. It all depends on what user is looking for, what kind of property that's got that great exposure, on the interstate.
Well, I am asking because the gentleman right here that owns this parcel actually told me that by the hotel, there's gonna be a glass recycling facility, so I'm wondering if that's what the plan is.
I don't know that. I don't know that they can guarantee that.
Recycling facility.
No.
Recycling.
So you wanna put it right next to the environmentally sensitive area that's heavy industrial, because that's what the ESA is, so that's, must be good for the environmentally sensitive area, the heavy industrial.
That's on the north side of I-10. So we're on the south side of I-10.
So you're across the street from it?
We're across the freeway from it, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You keep mentioning the natural gas line running through the property. Are any upgrades gonna be happening with that natural gas line in the near future?
We have no control on that gas line. I think the city of Benson has control over the use of that gas line. It's a great amenity, tax base for the city. We can't tap it without approval. So our user may wanna get access, but that's a high pressure, so I doubt, even if we wanted to tap into that, high pressure gas lines are not the local service, so there have to be a secondary source from somewhere else for gas service to this property. But we do have to protect those gas lines, they'll be a condition of site plan approval.
And they're really good about notifying the residents along that line about anything.
Right.
Because I live on it, they mail stuff all the time to me.
Okay, so some of these questions involve the zoning, but I guess I wanna get back to the fact where we'll focus on the major general plan amendment, just the land use. Any questions? We wanna keep on industrial zoning, but we don't go heavy industrial.
But why?
So there would be a rail access and potentially bring in
No, why change
manufacturing.
the zoning? Why not just keep it
Wait.
light?
Light yeah, I wanted to ask kind of the same thing, and then I have another comment, please, but, why not keep it light industrial?
Because then it can't be. a
Light industrial,
industrial park.
light industrial restricts some of the manufacturing, that hack on it.
Right.
And the I-2 does allow more flexibility in those uses.
Okay.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
City of Benson has adopted all the same building codes, fire codes, electrical codes, and all the other cities in Cochise have, now, in Pima. So they're very strict on the design and development of these properties, very strict on protecting
Yeah.
health, safety, welfare.
Okay. I have a comment, please.
Everybody raise their hand, who likes Benson Donuts? Everybody knows May's Donuts, raise your hand. Who wants to go get their chocolate sprinkle freaking donut.
No.
Heavy
It's a-
industry should never be by restaurants.
Right.
There are very few
It's a compatible land use.
light industry, okay. but
Okay.
Nobody wants heavy
All the
industry.
employees will appreciate those donuts. Sir?
It's ideally suited for heavy industrial, but there's a trend in this town. There is a trend in this town where we're developing into city. Well, the people live in the city. They wanna move the economic zone over off of 90. And people are mad because they don't want the heavy industry located in the Benson area where people live. Unfortunately, that's a very good location, but boy, somebody's gonna be left with that property and no heavy industrial application. People don't want the heavy industry in Benson.
I guess I understand your issue. Like I said, it's already zoned industrial, so we could submit tomorrow, plans, industrial.
For light industrial, light.
Let me finish. I know it's
Light.
industrial. We're asking for heavy, so we get rail access and, get the flexibility to different kind of manufacturing that takes the type 2 zoning.
Sure, you want that. I don't think the people want it.
Nope. Negative.
You don't have rail access unless it's heavy industrial?
Not necessarily true. It's a big investment, rail access, and these users are looking for properties that have access to the UP. Union Pacific Railroad. And so that's where this is of interest. There are users right now interested in this property because it does have rail access, but they need a higher zoning to allow different kinds of manufacturing.
Yeah, what you
It's all on that board, right over there.
Yeah, I brought some extra boards up here, we can talk about those, but
Yeah, we should.
the I-1 does allow a lot of industrial uses, but the I-2 allows more manufacturing. So that's why we're asking for the additional flexibility for more users. And I said, Mark, when I started, if we are successful in getting this I-2 zoning, then Dan's gonna work with his brokers, and they will continue to go out into the market and say, I've got I-2 zoning allowing different sites of manufacturing with rail access. That's what they're looking for, and they want the visibility off the interstate. They want to be able to drive by and let the market know that's where we do our manufacturing. We've got immediate access to the interchange, and we've got immediate access to the railroad. It's a perfect location for that kind of industrial use.
Perfect for who?
In this area, we have so much water. When you're talking industrial, and I mean industrial, either or, they use a lot of water. Have you ever considered what's going on with that? Because we don't have as much water as we could have, we should have.
Depending on the use, some are light water users, some require more. This will all be worked out through the process.
After you get the okay.
City of Benson is a water provider.
No.
Right.
Yes, they are.
They can't.
They're not.
There's not enough.
There's not enough water, and if you say if you go below, oh yeah, there is. No, there's not.
Well,
You wanna talk,
that's an opinion. We have engineers that can document the fact there is adequate water for this kind of use.
There is not enough.
Okay, that's your opinion. Ma'am?
Is this for, things that are going out of Benson or coming into Benson?
Both.
Okay,
I-
so
I-
it could be
normally-
for
normally
plants,
look at the user.
the train, that you have this industrial park near is so that you can put products that are heavy industrial into that train that are going in and out of Benson.
Product could be delivered for manufacturing. Product could also leave the property by rail. You can also do it by truck access, and that's the important feature about this property. We're right next to the interchange. It's gonna reduce the traffic going through town because we are right there. So I think it's to benefit this location.
Road?
I'm
Are you
sorry,
gonna fix Ocotillo Road?
that's gonna be up to the city.
Oh,
council.
yeah, of course, they do such a good job now.
We will have to fix our entrance, so that'll be worked out when we submit the site plan
Okay, in the
approval.
process, I know.
It's
It's a zoning question.
Listen, I'm trying to do the major general plan amendment first, but I don't wanna get to rezoning. So if there's questions about the major general plan, otherwise, if you're good, we can move on to the zoning.
Hello, I know you're looking and ignoring me, but on,
Sir,
oh my
sure,
God.
Chief.
Okay, I'm confused, because
For a
at the
reason.
beginning you said you don't know who's gonna use the industrial park, but
That's
then you
correct.
keep referring to the needs of the users, which suggests
That
you
you
know
already
who's gonna
know.
come in, so
We don't know who's gonna come in, we don't.
then how do you know what the needs of the users are that they would need
So
to
with
be tied to?
rezoning,
Wait, because in this market,
That's not what he said, Bill. He said we don't know who the users are gonna be.
that's right.
So
you
how do you
make it
know
more
they
flexible
need I-2?
for-
That's not what he said, Bill. He said, I need to have,
let me finish. You're right, we don't know who the user's gonna be. We can't. We need that zoning in place first, then we go out to the market. There are what we call site selectors, looking in Tucson, Moran, Phoenix, Casa Grande. They're looking for properties with rural access, freeway exposure, and immediate access to interchange. This site fits all that criteria, so there are users looking for these kind of properties. But they need to know that that property is available for that use. We won't know that until the zone is approved. Yeah?
Sir, so essentially if you get it rezoned to I-2, you could put really whatever you want there.
Yes.
The uses
So
are
we could-
approved, we still have to go through site plan approval, so that the city staff will control the quality improvements, the architecture.
That's the
Sir,
problem.
I think the issue is here is, no offense, Bill, we don't want another ADI.
Right.
So.
And you could
you're-
get that.
You're coming on the heels of that just happening to us.
Understood.
So nobody is, sorry, trusting what's going on here. And Dan, it did say it was a glass recycling plant. It was at breakfast with Misty and I.
I said there was a glass recycler
Right,
looking
sure.
at it.
Yeah, and I asked you how much water would that use? And your answer to me was, I don't know, I don't care, and you shrugged your shoulders. So that is our concern. That is our concern.
Okay.
That type of attitude, and again, no, I don't need another ADI, sorry.
Health and safety.
The economic impact of having an I-2 business would help with the funds to fix the roads and everything that we're not able to do.
Sure.
Parks, streets, police, library. the works.
Okay.
Maybe.
Comment, please. Comment. Hello.
Sir?
So basically, you're saying you want this to be heavy commercial. And
Heavy
you're saying,
industrial.
saying that you're gonna bring in
I'm gonna go
whoever
get
wants
this.
it. So then, the idea is somebody like ADI will come in and say, we want that property, and you guys go, okay, it's set for you, because it's, you've got it rezoned to heavy commercial.
Right,
Well, you guys got a great set already, I don't think they're gonna move over here.
That's just leaving it open for more places like ADI coming into this town where nobody wants that kind of crap here.
Okay, so first question, and I don't know if I'm on the right, on track here with you, the topic you're on, but the question is, has there been, and if not, when will there be an impact study on transportation, specifically the train? Because anybody who has sat on Ocotillo with that train when it stopped, because it's a gazillion miles long, understands that already there's impact there. Also with the trucks, additionally, you're talking about increased noise, traffic, impact on road, etc. And then second, I have a question, and maybe Mr. Arnold can respond to this, is does Chiricahua Water LLC, which you own, have any connection to any of this? And I'm wondering which companies that company is contracting with out of this area. And then lastly, if it is a glass recycling, that immediately red flags me. I come from an area and God is so funny because it was San Pedro in California, and here I am landed in San Pedro Valley, River Valley. So no coincidence. There was a glass recycling and in a valley of San Pedro, and the cancer incidents there are insane, just in that specific neighborhood. So many of my friends got cancer. Their parents who lived in this most pristine neighborhood.
You're talking about what ifs.
No, there is no what ifs. There are studies of impact of glass particles.
Was built. Right now, you're dealing with new codes on a statewide level, and Benson's gonna require that any development on this property satisfies all the health, safety, welfare.
I know, we've heard that already,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean anything because it's all about the dollar, and so therefore, that's kind of just passes by us, because many of us have already done that research. We've read all the studies, we've read the histories, recent studies from 2023, 2024, so what you're saying, doesn't matter how technologically advanced these are, there's still harmful effects on people, land, water, soil, etc., air that cannot be mitigated. We've already been through that with the aluminum fine dust particles. So I think that this is a hard sell for Mr. Arnold and yourself, because we've already been down that rabbit hole of research. So
Previous research on previous projects in different locations, I'm familiar with some of the crises that have occurred in the Phoenix Metro Valley, Motorola. I mean, there's dozens of plumes that migrate all into the valley. So, City of Phoenix, Maricopa County, all the cities in the Metro Valley become very strict because the code now requires all kinds of mitigation to make sure what you're talking about never happens. So, those systems are in place. So,
That's Phoenix, not Benson.
well, this has got the same development codes, construction codes, electrical codes that Phoenix does.
Well, why doesn't he just go build up in Phoenix then?
There you go. Yeah!
Yes, I understand you're the architect, and that's how you introduced yourself. And you made a comment that you want to get this zoning changed to enhance the use, potential use. But can you honestly stand up there and say you've heard nothing about the planned batch cement plant?
That's the next case. We're talking about, this is strictly the heavy industrial zoning.
Okay, hello.
Right here.
Wait a minute.
Well, oh my gosh.
Just to clarify, so what you're attempting to do with that change to, is it I-2?
Yes.
Is you're trying to change the comprehensive plan and the zoning?
Yes.
So, what's a comprehensive plan do?
All cities by state law, Benson, Pima County, Tucson, Phoenix, everybody's got to have a general plan. The general plan is, let me finish, please. The general plan is adopted by the city council. The general plan establishes a land use pattern within that municipality. So before you get it zoned, the general plan dictates land use. So if you're in conflict with the general plan, you have to go through the process of changing the general plan so you can do your zoning. So there's a two-step process.
So in the general plan, they designate areas for industrial and areas for residential, and then they create buffer zones between the two, is what you're saying. They create like.
They should.
In this district here, I don't know why that big D covers so much of the property. That was done a long time ago. That green area, if you see where the big D is, that's the buffer open space, and the cross-hatched area is our property going down Talcatillo. So part of it's that red commercial, but everything's cross-hatched is the property we're talking about tonight. So we're asking to change the back half of this from buffer to industrial.
But you do this for a living. I'm not antagonist.
Yes.
I'm not gonna railroad you. I'm not setting you up for a fall. But generally what you try to do is put industrial where industrial is supposed to be and separate industrial from residential.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
In this case, because of the frontage on the freeway, we got the rail access, we have a major street with, we need access to interchange, it's ideal.
Yeah, and those buffer zones, that's part of a comprehensive plan usually, that they've done some city planning and they've said this area is for residential, this is for industrial, this is
That's right.
for retail. Okay,
Right.
thank you, sir.
This lady back here.
I still can't wrap my head around the fact that you can't tell the community what the heavy industrial is for. You're not gonna get community support unless you can share that information with the community.
Well, I see your frustration, but I can't tell you who it is because we don't
Because
know.
we're worried about pollution and the
Water
environment, you know, our air quality, our water.
I guess I was hoping to put that to rest because the code requirements here are strict, like East City.
Sure.
And even though people want to contest that, it's a fact.
Pollution.
This lady back, ma'am, with the Gatorade.
Crystal.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I almost fell asleep. So what is the benefit of you erasing a buffer zone and making it high industrial?
Fair question. Since I do this kind of land planning for 40 years, I don't understand why that was ever created as a buffer. That didn't make sense to me. Next to a railroad, next to an interstate.
That wasn't my question. What does it benefit?
It benefits because if we change the
Erasing a buffer zone.
if we change the land use to industrial, it allows the I-2 zoning. That brings in development and jobs and tax base.
We've heard that before.
That's the benefit.
Okay.
I bet it's just
How
a
does it
buffer from the
benefit?
ESA land, because they don't want to pollute the ESA land, that's probably why they put it there. Just from me thinking, I used to be a librarian for a long time, and I did a lot of research, it's probably just to, protect the ESA land from getting polluted, because it's an environmentally sensitive area.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I don't know that to be the case at all. Your view.
Okay.
I get to talk now?
Yes.
Wow, thank you. I just want to point out to everyone the difference between light industrial and heavy industrial, because there's a huge difference. And primarily what I want to point out is that these are the zoning regulations, and underneath heavy industry, it literally says in the intro paragraph that it allows uses and structures having physical and operational characteristics which may be offensive or hazardous, or which might otherwise adversely affect the economic welfare of nearby properties and uses. Okay, so that, I'm just telling you that could mean odors, that can mean hazardous pollution.
No.
Yes, it can. And that can affect, and that in turn affects property values. Now, I don't understand why you would have that right up with all this commercial, that people will be eating at a restaurant and can be having these odors and hazardous toxic pollution possibly, while they're trying to eat, shop, all that.
Sleep in a hotel.
Sleep in a hotel, not to mention residents that'll be breathing it.
You know, if this were next to a residential community, single family, I would understand some of the concerns about proximity to industrial use. In this case, there really is a residential next door. At the southwest corner, part of the B area for some reason. I'll show it on.
How close is it to aviation drive?
R3, this property on the other side of the railroad, is on R3.
Benson's property is as I said, it's the interstate, it's the railroad, and it's Ocotillo. This is ideally suited for a heavy industrial use because has less land use conflicts. So,
There is no good use for heavy industrial within 3 miles of residence. This is that is near a densely populated residential area, and those children that play at Lions Park and that go to school and that are in that vicinity are gonna be affected by whatever heavy industry. Light industry, okay, metal fabrication, something like that, that isn't gonna poison people, that's totally different. Heavy industry has no business in the center of a town or near businesses we love, that we have supported through thick and thin for many years, actually. That's gonna
That's right,
affect
I
those
disagree.
businesses. You can
it comes to the land use and land use conflicts.
It's not worth somebody's health. It's not worth the health of the kids.
I could disagree with you more.
Our
Could
kids
disagree with you more.
deserve better.
I
Are you
agree,
gonna
I
live
agree.
here?
One more question.
If you'll let me add to it, so see that upper square that's above the red C.
Yeah.
And you've got the crosshatch, and then right above that, is that the hotel in Filiberto's in that
Yes.
solid?
And there's some commercially owned property that wraps around that.
Yeah, so
Or city-owned property.
so the hotel in Filiberto's, they probably aren't gonna be sticking around if heavy industry
No,
goes
they
in.
will. This is the, they like to see this.
They're gonna lose business.
business.
Okay, I just wanna point out that technically, if this gets a general plan amendment and rezoned to heavy industry, technically, I don't think it would, but who knows in this city, it could be another ADI.
Yes. There you go.
And the pollution it's gonna go beyond just that little green buffer zone.
We can have stacks on both sides of
Something to think about, the development standards in Manitou, we are limited to 30-foot high building.
Sure, we know how that goes, don't we?
But they had to get special permit to do that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't difficult.
I can finish. We have setback criteria, we have site coverage criteria, we have parking criteria, and we'll have landscape criteria. All that will be controlled by the city of Benson. So
Scary.
once we get the zoning in place, we have a user coming through, will be coming through for site plan approval.
You just said you didn't know who was gonna be there.
That's right. But when a user comes, then those plans are submitted to the city of Benson.
Because
So we don't know
ADI is
who
gonna
that
have
until
wonderful
they-
landscaping, wonderful.
This gentleman. Yes, sir.
Are they gonna be putting up 200-foot stacks?
No. Because according to this group, this had, go up to 30 feet, we have to come back to this group and say, we want to exceed the 30-foot limit. So you'll have another shot if they try and change those development standards. We have to come back.
Sure.
That's what they said about ADI, if they're 80-foot stack.
If I could just say
Folks, wait.
So I think the problem that you're suffering from is the fact that you are coming in behind a secretive thing that happened. And the city, the residents of the city are in an uproar. And no matter how much you try to convince us that this is the best thing for Benson, they're gonna argue with you because we were lied to. And we were kept, there were secrets kept from us.
And don't forget, it's the same guy.
Having done industrial
I didn't
parks
know that.
all throughout the state of Arizona and a bunch of surrounding states, if I lived in a community and had the ADI show up, I would be thrilled. The tax base is right.
Bill, there's your customer.
I just,
Do you live in a community where there's all those, commercial, chemical places?
No,
No? Why not? Why not?
because I chose to live in an area close to the.
People
Resource-
here,
So did we.
people, I'm gonna say something. People in Benson, they're here for one reason, and one reason only. Because the town is a small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody, when we walk by, we smile. And it's a healthy town. We don't want that garbage. And believe me, we know you're being played with. We're not stupid. We want to keep our small town.
I want to say one thing. So I've been attending these meetings since June, and one of the problems that we have here with you mentioned a 30-foot tall building, right? So the problem we have here is that we only have 2 full-time firefighters at this point, and the rest of them are all volunteers, and we have no ladder truck to get up to shoot water over a 30-foot building. So the problem lies in the fact that you're trying to build heavy industrial, basically, in this area, when we have no infrastructure to support that kind of.
Your question, let me address that.
Up to the
Because-
city.
Let me finish. when you get into this kind of industrial development, fire code, here we go, the fire code says that those buildings must be sprinkled. They have to have a water storage tank and pool system and overhead sprinklers throughout the building, so.
Not in Benson, it does, no sprinkler code thing in Benson. I'm just telling you.
I have to disagree with you. This is, I do industrial design all about.
It's in the minutes of the Public Safety Advisory Committee, but go ahead.
So,
Well, New York just had the aluminum plant explode, and they're.
that's got nothing to do with what we're here. It just
I'm just
doesn't
saying,
make
that was
sense.
heavy industrial.
Sir.
The problem is you're talking about all these unknowns, and we, as the citizens here, are gonna have to live with the result, whatever it is that they do build. We are the ones that are gonna get saddled with the result, whether it's a health or any other.
And again, I'll go back to the site plan approval
If they can build
process.
anything, we're the ones that are gonna end up having to live with it.
There are code requirements that protect the general public.
That's just, that's ridiculous.
Wouldn't it be better to apply for the comprehensive change and the zoning change when you have an actual user pick?
You know, it's
Yeah,
specific in
and a
the
site
plan,
plan.
That way.
because we wait for a user, those users, the site selectors are looking for property that's already zoned and what they call shovel ready. So if they have to come and wait for zoning, then it could, I'll say, chill the deal. So it just makes it more flexible, the day to go out and find these users, get the property zoned and ready to go.
Well, I'll put Ann Arnold, I don't care.
They don't have to look very far,
This isn't a
that's for
water
sure.
ready environment.
I'm sorry?
This isn't a water ready environment. We don't, it might be shovel ready, but we care a lot about water. We raise animals here. We have farms here. So we don't need another huge water sucker, especially when a lot of families are fighting for their water here in this area right now.
Okay?
I will not switch it. Why wouldn't you just keep it light industrial and just bring in light industrial?
Because there's no room in Benson for heavy
Wait a minute.
industry.
Because the market's telling us there are users looking for I-2 type properties.
They're looking for leniency in the local government, and they're totally found the right place, let me tell you.
Who's looking for heavy industrial?
The market.
Oh, the market.
The general market, the industrial.
They're looking for a small rural town that they can take advantage of.
Department of Energy.
There are users looking throughout county, probably Cochise County, for sites that have the I-2 zone, rural access, and immediate access to interchange. This property is perfect.
So you
It's not in Benson.
We don't know.
You think
I
it's
know the
true?
user is. We don't have a user.
You know.
No, we don't.
Oh.
I don't.
It's only things that you.
Sir.
So Benson is a handshake, wink, wink, behind closed doors,
I doubt that.
approval.
Oh, you are so wrong.
Yeah,
You are so wrong.
Yeah.
Look at your name you represent.
Roy's still talking.
I'm not done.
Okay.
Have you gotten approval, and is this meeting just to check the box?
This is part of the process. Rezoning,
Yeah.
general plan amendments require a neighborhood meeting. So this is the first step in the process.
So ultimately, who decides if this goes forward?
City council.
Who have you met with already?
Me, I have not met with who?
In the city government.
I just met with Abby Johnson, and Dan's met with Brad.
And the county, Christine McLaughlin?
I've not met with Christine.
Abby has.
Frank Antonori?
I'm sorry?
Frank Antonori?
I don't know that name.
Dan, have you met with Frank Antonori?
I know who he is.
Okay, Dan.
Okay, all righty
Okay.
then. Do you know that
Like
the
this.
city of Benson has an industrial development group that is supposed to, that, has any of this gone through the Benson City Industrial Development Group? The memberships are Dell Mellentine, Linda Lamb, Steve Tobridge. Has
No.
any of this gone through?
I'm not familiar with that group.
Benson, Arizona?
This is on the Benson City.
It's on the website.
website.
I've seen it.
No, I don't know who that is. I'd like to wrap this up and move on to the next
This
case.
is a serious question.
One last question.
If you don't know what the buffer zone is, why can't someone just tell you what the buffer zone is for? They must know what it's for. And you say, you have no idea what it's for. Well, someone knows what it's for. The buffer zone.
Whoever did this general plan
They had a reason.
decades ago,
They
had a reason. I don't doubt that. But the market has evolved and we have a higher and better use.
Can I just ask one last question? Who have you spoken to? Have you spoken to anybody in planning and zoning?
Yes, Abby Johnson.
John, this man over
No,
here?
she said Abby.
Abby.
He said
The
Abby.
lady that introduced me, Abby Johnson,
Okay.
the lady introduced me.
Thank you.
Who currently owns the property?
BCW Ventures is under contract to acquire it.
And just the hatched area or the whole
Yeah,
buffer
no,
area or
hatched
the?
area.
The hatched area. So that
We're
half
looking
of
at
the
further.
buffer zone will remain in green until
Until it's
next
zoned.
week when someone else tries?
So we get approval on major general plan amendment. Sure, last
You
question.
said that the city council decides it,
Yes.
and, who at the city council is here today?
Nobody.
So then
Typically,
this is.
a lot of council members don't come to neighbor meetings. They are allowed to, but I think this is a chance.
So it's already decided, you guys are already done.
What impact does our opinion have?
It's not decided,
And
so we
where's-
get in front of the planning and
where's
zoning
the-
commission.
where's
we get
the
a
five
recommendation,
planning and
move on to
zoning
council.
people?
That's how it works.
What impact does our opinion have tonight on you?
None.
None.
None?
Actually, quite a bit.
That's-
If there's constructive criticism, then we have to counter that in our next evolution of the submittal.
I help operate a 1,700 member group as well as Kristen, and I guarantee you we will be at whatever meeting that you come and represent us to.
Great, that's your right.
How much did your influence count on
Yeah.
ADI?
Hey,
How much did your voice matter on that? It didn't even go before the city council. You didn't even get a chance to speak to the city
Which it
council.
says in their general plan
that's
that
fine.
it has to.
Ma'am?
Thank you. Since the general plan was readopted this year in February, why should we change it? I know that you said this was done a long time ago, but they readopted it this year. So somebody this year thinks that that should be a buffer. The whole city council thinks that it should be a buffer.
I think that was staying in place because of the previous general plan. I believe
They
there's a higher
voted
level
to.
land use that won't impact what is normally considered a buffer condition because of the immediate frontage on the interstate, the railroad, and immediate access to the interchange. This is a higher and better use.
So since
I'd like to,
February's changed?
Written in February, from the city council's
Yep.
vision statement, on the city of Benson general development plan. The first part of the description is the city of Benson's vision for the year of 2025 and beyond.
Yeah.
So clearly
Thank
they've
you.
reviewed that.
Yeah, they're
This
supposed
year,
to.
as of February.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
And they don't want it.
We don't want it.
Let me just tell you,
Right.
they actually readopted one from, they actually readopted the one from 2015. They
Yes,
just
they
literally
did.
went, stamp, we
There was never
readopted
any
it.
public notice about the revision.
There were none. It was just,
But if they
They
stamped
just
it, then they.
rubber stamped it.
folks,
They renewed it.
can we move on? I want to move on to this next case. The two boards to the right is what I want to talk about next. And this property is off South Highway 80.
It's off Country Club.
Turquoise Hills.
Well, Southway, yeah, it is off South. The property ownership goes out and touches the
They
highway.
bought more parcels.
Okay, you got a small piece.
Yes. So, we are requesting, we're not changing the zoning in that property yet, that'll come later. But we're requesting, let me finish, we are requesting conditional use permit to allow concrete batch plant on this property.
What?
So, the concrete batch plant will support Lunar Dynamics next door. And we will be coming back and requesting a rezoning
For
by the next 6 months to change this to industrial 2 zoning to match Lunar Dynamics for a rail yard. But that's a separate process. So this was just for conditional use to allow dash pools that we think is gonna be a temporary use for a number of years and then it'll evolve into an industrial park.
So earlier today, you said you like a buffer zone, and then here you are presenting heavy use industrial next to dense residential. This
did
was
say
the
that.
buffer zone. This golf course was the buffer zone, and you're changing
Mhm.
it so that you'll have a cement plant next to residential.
Yep.
The residential you're talking about is, you're right, is county jurisdiction. Along Country Club, that is residential. To the east is all in the county and the zones are 36.
R36, one house per 36,000 square
Correct.
feet.
And on the south is R4, one house per 4 acres. So, yeah, I'm familiar with that. The golf course has not been in operation for a while, and so Mr. Arnold would prefer, has been requested to work with ADI, Fluid Dynamics, to do this batch plant so they can provide concrete next door.
So every bag of concrete in America has a warning label. It says can cause cancer and prolonged exposure is dangerous, cannot be inhaled. And you're gonna put a cement plant next to residential, residential, and residential.
And a mile and a half.
There is, there's only a little bit,
There's
And the
also.
river too.
There's a
also.
river.
there's a couple of homes on the
Cement
northeast
batch.
corner in the county, and there are some
Yes,
homes
it's
along
big.
East Country Club. That's it for residential.
There are more homes than that, than you're saying.
Not next door, not next to this property.
I own the entire
No,
east
across
side of
the
the
street.
property for a quarter mile, and I'm zoned R36. And our plan is to develop that into houses. The damage to my property value is, it should be compensated to me. Because you're taking industrial and putting it next to residential. I bought this knowing that was retail, golf course.
Are you
It
gonna
was
repay
commercial, it's still commercially zoned, B2 property, you're right, it is still commercial, all the way out to the US 80. We're gonna request the conditional use, we're not changing the zoning, just requesting the use for the, batch plant.
Which you said you are gonna request the changes on.
You said you're
They
gonna.
want it
Yeah.
5 years.
Within 6 months.
Yeah.
And-
For
and the
industrial
temporary
park.
use,
Yep, that's what he
when's
said.
the end? What's the date that you quit using it for the temporary use?
We made a projection of 3 years, but I can't guarantee that.
So it's indefinite.
Well, Illinois Maps is not gonna be construction definitely.
And then what bond have you put up for the environmental cleanup and removal of the concrete?
Ideally, the concrete plant is not a permanent structure. That could be just minimum removed from property.
It can be, but what guarantee do we have that it will be?
Because the conditional use permit can put those kind of restrictions on the operation of that batch plant.
They can, but will they?
Exactly.
You just said that it's indefinite.
Well, construction of aluminum amps is, obviously they're behind schedule, but the concrete demand on that facility is pretty impressive.
We're not approved yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not even approved.
Aluminum Dynamics.
When the council approved this, they said that Aluminum Dynamics was going to give, a lot of business to the area. You know, there are a plethora of concrete companies in the area. You know, so why not buy concrete from them instead of build one next to residential?
Because it's
And
right next door, we don't have to take trucks out on the highway or through the neighborhoods.
so that people can get cancer, so you got easier trucking.
Well, to bring material in to Memphis, but then can go right next door to Aluminum Dynamics.
So for logistics, for easier trucking, the people can get cancer. Is that what you're saying? sir?
No, not at all. I don't agree with
Why
that.
expose them to the risk when there's other concrete plants within reach? They're all over.
Okay?
Why? Why expose them to the risk?
Because it's right next door. And I don't agree with your risk assessment.
Water.
Water, that's your answer.
The wells on those parcels, that's
There
why.
are wells in the property already.
There's wells all over.
That's,
There's wells in the property that will be used
well, I
as a
put
source.
cement dust in the air.
We have to have water trucks in place. Dust
Will
control.
it put cement dust in the air?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
On the immediate area, there could be some.
Okay,
There's
Could be
water-
some.
we live right across the street from them.
There are water misters and there are water trucks that are controlling the dust. That's a county requirement.
What happens if they run out of water?
They won't.
They'll move to the next rural town.
Wow.
have a question here.
Sir.
You're talking about how great the city is and how they pay attention to every detail, but we're in a meeting right now for a conditional use permit that wasn't signed or dated. So we know shenanigans go on. Why is this meeting even taking place without an actual permit that's been signed and dated?
There is.
Right here, the CUP is not signed or dated, that was turned into the city.
The application for
The
it.
application is not signed or dated.
And so this meeting,
This is from the city, and it was emailed on Monday.
This was posted in the Herald, last week, or a few weeks ago, about the citizens review in this building tonight at 6 o'clock. It has not been posted on any of the city websites. The amended notices were for the meeting. All of the 3 notices are for the meeting on November 20th.
That's for the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay, well, I have now, okay.
He can't control.
Let's talk about the process, because I want to address that.
Okay, but
The
the
process is,
rest
let me finish. The process is, we make an application to the city of Benson. Benson reviews the application, makes sure it's complete,
And it's not.
and it is.
That's my
It's
point.
not.
It can't
It's
be
not.
complete if it hasn't been signed and dated.
You
So
made
that's
that
what we
point
deal
up.
with within this
I've heard that
city.
already. I'd have to address Abby and see if we can copy the application, but
Because
I
my
s-
question
it's been
is,
signed and
you're
submitted.
talking over us about how the city is gonna check all this and balance it all out, but they
They will.
don't. Not even this has been checked.
So the process is, we make an application, and the city staff, the different departments will look at the application and see that it's thorough and complete. If it's complete, then they will either let us know that there are more revisions, or they will go ahead and schedule this for a neighborhood meeting. That's why we're here. So this was scheduled for tonight. Notices were given out to everybody within 300 feet, and public notifications as dictated by the city staff, and that's why we're here. So if you live beyond the 300-foot boundary, chances are you did not get a postcard. But it was posted, it's outside right now.
So the 300-foot, I received that notice because I ordered it for a quarter mile. And in it says, do you support or not support? So I have chosen to not support what you're doing. I'm handing this with an explanation to Abby. Hi, Abby, you're good. But now what does that do in this process? So I've said I don't want to do it. Now the city council just still approves you.
Now, on the 20th, the Planning and Zoning Commission, staff, probably Abby will report to the commissioners that we have received letters in opposition or in support, and so that will be presented. Numbers, you guys will be there if you want to present your concerns, but it's the process. So no one's being left out of this. Same thing will happen again when we go in front of council. It will be notified, and you can come back and make your concerns known to the council.
I have a question. There's a reservoir on this map. Oh, it says retention. See this big, is this a retention pool? Please tell me what will be in this.
Sure.
Retention pool, is it gonna seep
Retention
into the
pool,
ground?
no.
What is it?
All cities, counties require stormwater retention. So if a storm happens, the water from the storm has to stay on the property for the first 100-year 2-hour storm. So in this case, we're trying to direct the runoff to the lower side, which is that northeast corner, to contain the water on site. So that's where the retention is.
So the concern I have is that this is really close to the river. Anything, like say there's a bunch of chemicals involved in a concrete batch plant. I mean, my husband started out as a masonry, like in masonry before he moved to be an electrical contractor. So I know a little bit about masonry, but I know that there's chemicals involved in concrete batch creation. So that's gonna get in here. It can seep into the water and affect nearby wells.
And the river.
All concrete produced here is
And
gonna
the
leave
river.
property. So
Say that again?
all the concrete produced here will leave the property in those circular cement trucks.
There's concrete dust.
There is concrete dust, but it will be controlled on site.
You can't control everything.
So this retention, sits right next to a wash.
That's where it's gonna
right to the
land.
San Diego. It's just a slot canyon wash that provides the property. If you were to get into that, all that's gonna drop right into the San Diego River.
Live here. We have to, again, we have to hold a 100-year 2-hour event.
It's like ADI.
And it has to stay on site.
I didn't hear that. What?
Retention basins are required on property for development, and they have to hold a storm event, 100-year 2 hours. So the size of the storm is pretty sizable. It only happens once every.
What's happened on the East Coast?
Doesn't matter. I'm talking about this particular property.
It could happen here.
Okay.
What are you gonna do if it does?
It's unlikely. If it does, the 100-year event will fill this retention basin before it can leave the property.
What if it does?
We've got to satisfy the county or city requirements for overflow. And if there is a local drainage, because you can see on the northwest side, there is a drainage system that probably leads out to San Pedro.
And it infects the well, what are you gonna do about that?
Nothing.
Are those wells in the Gila River adjudication?
I'm just saying hypothetically, if it happens, what guarantee does the community have that they're going to fix the problem?
The ability for that kind of problem to get down to the groundwater is incredibly remote. Generally, we're not talking about liquid, we're talking about dust, and that's gonna settle on the surface. And it's not gonna perk down to the ground like tails. Hundreds of feet.
I have a question about the process. So it's my understanding now that if we flood Planning and Zoning Commission with our concerns and negative letters, that those should be acknowledged by our city council. That is our process to protest what you are trying to do in all these areas. Is that correct?
That's true throughout the entire state of Arizona, yes.
Okay, so what we need to do, people, is to write to your Planning and Zoning Commission. You can find the email on the city website. Just drown them in your negative letters. We're just wasting our breath here because there's only one Planning and Zoning person here. There are no city council members here. That's what we need to do, is flood their email boxes. They're all available on the website, and let them know how you feel as citizens. I started out in this community as a snowbird. I've been here for 30 years now. I've now invested and I live here. I didn't choose Benson for its entertainment, for its great shopping, for anything else that you're trying to bring here. I chose Benson because of what it is now.
Amen.
And you're trying to I can guarantee you and the city planning that these snowbirds who have been helping this town survive will be leaving because there is nothing here for us. If I wanted to live in an industrial place, I'd be where I was brought up, which is New York City.
Yeah.
The composition of the soil in the retention pond, and what is the likelihood of any leaching or any problems coming in that type of soil? Because I know some, or like some clay soils are, not as leach worthy as other types. Do you have an understanding of what the composition is of that soil?
I don't know.
Oh,
We have
okay.
to do some soil analysis.
Right.
But I know, having done this kind of work for decades, the potential for what you're hearing about the leaching down the ground table is. If there was a concern, for instance, we come back and want to rezone this and develop a property, we have to satisfy, the ground stabilization we heard about earlier. So that's gonna involve probably removing a lot of the topsoil, re-excavating. So to do those slabs, they do what's called a geotech report, and they have to look at the stability of the soil, and then what they do, remediate the soil to hold the slabs. So I think we're gonna get there, and we can address all this, but I can't.
Okay, I
solve it
just
tonight.
thought it was a fair question.
What do you do with this well? Just real quick, Planning and Zoning Commission does not have city emails, the city council does, but we don't. So if you want letters to get to us, to get in our packets, you need to get them dropped off at the city so they can get into our packets. That's the only way we can get them. We don't have an email. And I'm here tonight, like you all, I have no prior information of this. That's why I'm sitting here, because I'm trying to learn all about this too, because this is the first chance I've had to sit and listen to any of this as well.
What are you doing with this well right here? The one next to the retention pond?
Hold on, my question is
Yeah.
about
Can I ask
Wait,
you?
wells. How many wells are on this property total?
3 wells.
3. Are those currently part of the Gila River adjudication?
I don't know.
You don't know.
This one's
You
artesian,
should.
and it would definitely be in the subflow. And when you're putting the retention pond next to the artesian well, and you're saying you're gonna separate it, if you don't cap that well, then all you've done is create a open barrier between the subflow and the retention
I
pond.
believe those wells would be in that
They are.
current mass
They are.
lawsuit, and I think